My name's Dennis Miners. I'm a studio potter living in Portland, Oregon. Very fortunate to be here. My work has evolved dramatically from the time that I began. I started out thinking that in order to be a real potter, one had to use the wheel and throw pots, and that people who hand-built were people that just didn't know how to throw. So I tried really hard to learn how to throw and get good at that, until about the mid-'80s when I realized that I was never really going to be very good at that. And I didn't really want to make round things. So I started hand building, and when I made slabs by hand, textural things happened on the surface of those slabs that I didn't know where it came from and that I didn't want for a while, until I noticed that that texture was pretty nice. And so I started using it. It was just a naturally developed texture. So I'm in the process of making a narrative slab that I will make into a coffee cup. And I chose the image of the fish to start. A lot of fish are, as you know, endangered. And having them be, in large measure, being chased by a monster. And in this case, the monster is a dragon. What these are sprigs. And just to do this very quickly, the difference between a sprig and a stamp, this is a stamp where I take the image and press it into the surface. Whereas if I take the clay, and like I just did with this little fishy, and press it into the stamp and then clean the edges, or not, I mean I see people do this without cleaning the edges, and then attach that to the surface, then it becomes a sprig. And I always put a little bit of vinegar on the surface that to be attached. It's really more superstition than anything else. I found a professor of physics named Chris Butenhoff at Portland State University. He developed the figures on the carbon footprint of my electric kiln versus the carbon footprint of my propane-fired kiln. My carbon footprint is now 1/7 what it was firing with propane. And when he told me that, it practically brought me to tears. I mean, it almost does now. So that's a big thing that I think people need to be thinking about and talking about and figuring out how they're going to change, because it's not something that maybe we'll do someday. I think we need to do it now.